We're handicapping the Bluegrass Stakes 2009. This is an intriguing race. I'm sure that whoever is watching this handicapped it last night, and I think it's one of these races where you kind of pick your horse you're going to go with and be done with it, and not. I mean, you can go back and forth. You know, it's very competitive. I'm going to go through these horses relatively quickly because there's a big field and YouTube only allows you so much space. But to start with Patina, this is a horse that I have in my Road to the Roses stable, so I'm rooting for him. But you know, he was very good last year on a similar poly track. He had 2 victories. I would expect him to definitely bounce back from the way he raced on the sloppy track in Louisiana. The next horse, Join the Dance, is a intriguing horse because he seems to be lone speed, and that's a deadly factor, especially at Keeneland, even though it's a new track. I mean, history, you know, just how it is there. But I've been watching horses kind of come right off the middle to front end of the pace, stalking more type of trip. So what I'm looking at here with Join the Dance, I'm going to watch these races beforehand, and if speed is holding up, I'm going to have to put a ticket down on him. But if speed's not holding up, then we may be able to look another direction. But I think they say with poly track, when it rains and it kind of gets compacted, it becomes a speed favoring type of surface. So if speed's winning, you got to watch out for this horse. Next horse, There Goes JoJo, is a horse who is falling into one of the factors that I'm using to handicap this race, which is he has been successful at 1 1/8, and although he was beaten 7 3/4 lengths, he did check at the top of the stretch and was beaten by 2 quality horses. So in this race, he has the speed figures and he has been the distance, and that's a factor that I'm going to use in my handicapping. So There Goes JoJo is going to be a horse. It also gets Burrell on him, so I think that maybe he'll be able to sit back and make one run at the end of the race there. But his performance was not that bad in the Florida Derby. Cliffy's Future is another intriguing horse who I had a daily double going I went to Turfway Park, and I had him in the race before the lane's end, and he ran a great race, and he was a nice payoff. So I'm starting to like this horse. He's got a nice long stride. He could be a good horse to put in the ticket. I'm going to bet against him on the win side, but he's definitely a horse I'm going to look at underneath. I'll come to number 5, Mafaz. This is a horse that I'm very high on and is going to be on the top of my ticket. Mafaz is a horse who has been 1 1/8. He won the Kentucky Derby Challenge in Kempton on a similar all-weather track. He has $855,000. It was an $855,000 purchase, and he's got the connections that have been successful in North America and all over the world, for that matter. I like the fact that he carried 129 pounds 3 times, and he was only beaten 2 lengths to Donatavium, who came over to North America and won the Juvenile Turf. And he's competed against 14, 24, and 11 horses. So Mafaz is going to be a horse on top of my ticket. Terrain is a horse people are trying to make arguments for, but again, this is a horse that was very good as a 2-year-old and hasn't shown that form as a 3-year-old, although he did have a bit of a layoff there. So Terrain is a horse that hasn't had any victory since a victory at Mountaineer. He seems to hit the board and run competitive, but I don't think he's got that killer instinct to get a win in a race like this. Julien Leparoux is a great jockey to have on his back. May come under the ticket on your exotics. I'm staying away. Locked Up, I've heard enough about that horse. I'm going to pass on him. General Quarters is a horse that deserves to be in the play. He ran a troubled trip at Tampa Bay. Before that, ran a huge race, I thought, in Sam Davis at 13-1, coming off a bullet. This horse is, we'll see how he does. I mean, I'm going to have him somewhere. I may have a ticket with him on top somewhere. Charitable Man was a great 2-year-old. Again, has worked very well coming up to this race, but to expect a horse who's never been further than 7 furlongs in one turn to win a mile in an 8th race, never been on the poly track. I mean, there's too many negatives for me as a handicapper, and I think people are going to put some money on him, but we'll see how he does. I mean, I don't think they're just throwing him in the race for the hell of it. I mean, the connections are very good. We'll see how it goes. I think they're very high on this horse, as they were last year. Hold Me Back is a horse that'll be on my ticket. This is another horse. I watched him win the Lane's End live. This is another horse who has been ran mile and 1/8 twice and has a victory. As a 2-year-old, he was beaten soundly. So he'll be on the ticket. Masson Gomez, this horse I'm definitely going to have a play on. I like him in this race. He's going to be a long shot with Mafaz, so I'm going to be playing those two together. Here's a horse that ran a very competitive second to Chocolate Candy. It was a small field, but Chocolate Candy's shown to be pretty good. And if you look at the back, I'm sure you have the back races for Masson. He's raced against all the tough guys in the business right now, so if he's heading in the right direction, we could be onto something. And his sire, Menifee,